This is the equation of a straight line. I'm first of all going to calculate the coordinates of that straight line and then plot it onto my graph paper here. As you can see, I've got a table here, and that's where I'm going to put the information that I calculate. My x values at the moment are blank, so I'm going to fill them in, and I choose to use the values from -3 up to +3 as a value for x. And now this is a process of substitution. Each individual value for x I'm going to substitute in this equation here, which will allow me to work out a value for y. As a general rule, I like to start with the positive numbers, so I'm going to start on my grid from the right hand side, 3. I'm going to take out the x in my equation and substitute it with the 3 from here. So that'll be 3 times 3 and then add 2. 3 times 3 is 9, add 2 is 11. Going to the next value for x, I'm going to substitute that now. So this time it's 3 times 2 plus 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. You'll see every time I substitute in a new value for x, my multiplication part of the sum changes. But adding 2 stays the same every time. It's my constant. 3 times 1 is 3, add 2 is 5. Now 0. 3 times 0 is 0, but I still need to add 2. So that makes my y value there 2. I'm now looking at negative numbers, so I have to be very careful. I have 3 times -1 and then add 2. Well, 3 times -1 gives me -3. If I'm on -3 and I want to add 2, it takes me to -1. So when x is -1, y is -1 also. Now for -2. 3 times -2 and add 2. 3 times -2 is -6. Add 2 gives me a value of -4. And for completion, I'll do that last one, which is 3 times -3, then add 2. 3 times -3 is -9. Add 2 gives me a y value of -7. So when x is -2, y is -4. When x is -3, y is -7. And what I have here, if I read up and down, are the coordinates that I'm now going to plot on this graph paper. I always try to plot my graph in pencil, therefore if I make a mistake I can rub it out. So my first coordinates, -3, -7. -3 along the x-axis, down to -7 on the y. There's my first plot. My second coordinate is -2, -4. -2 on the x-axis, -4 on the y. Now -1, -1. And that's just there. 0, +2 means I'm not moving anywhere on the x-axis, neither left nor right. I'm staying at 0, but I go up 2 on the y-axis. 1, 5, 2, 8, and my final coordinate is 3, 11. Now if I've plotted those numbers correctly, when I put my ruler on them, they should form a straight line. And I'm going to join up the points as best I can, going from the top of my graph paper right through to the bottom. I'm going to calculate the values of the graph for y equals minus 2x plus 1. I'm going to pay particular attention multiplying positive and negative numbers together so that I come out with the right coordinates. Starting with the 3, I've got minus 2 times 3 plus 1. Minus 2 times 3 is minus 6, plus 1 is minus 5. Minus 2, this time my x value is 2. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, plus 1 is minus 3. Minus 2, this time I'm going to multiply it by an x value of 1 before I add 1. Minus 2 times 1 is minus 2, plus 1 is minus 1. So filling in these values, where x is 3, y is minus 5. Where x is 2, y is minus 3. And where x is 1, y is minus 1. Okay, on to 0. Minus 2 multiplied by 0 and then add 1. Minus 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. Add 1 is 1. My next coordinate, I have to multiply two negative numbers together before adding 1. So minus 2 times minus 1 is positive 2. Positive 2, add 1 gives me 3. Again a minus number, minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 this time is a positive 4. Add 1 gives me a value of 5. So where x is minus 1, y is 3, and where x is minus 2, y is 5. I just have this last value to do now, so I've got minus 2 multiplied by minus 3, add 1. Well, this gives me a positive value of 6, add 1 gives me a final value of 7, where x is minus 3, y is equal to a positive 7. I'm now going to plot those values and draw my graph. Minus 3, 7. Minus 2, 5. Minus 1, 3. 0, 1. 1 minus 1, 2 minus 3, and minus 3 minus 5. There are my coordinates plotted. Join them up with as best line as I can, and there's my graph of y is equal to minus 2x plus 1. I'm now going to calculate the coordinates of a curved graph. I can see this graph will curve because my x value is squared. So that means I've got more calculations to do to come out with a y value when I substitute my x in. First of all, if I show you the flow chart of the calculations I have to do, we start off with our x value and we square it. The next function is to take that answer and multiply it by 2. The last function in this graph is to then add 3. So Just with my linear graph, I'm going to take each value in turn and substitute it here, starting with my positive value of 2. 2 squared is 4. I then take the answer to that and multiply it by 2. My second function is 8. I then take my answer 8 and add 3, which gives me a y value of 11, where x is 2, y is 11. I'm now going to go through the same functions, but this time x has a value of 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5, where x is 1, y is 5. Now I'm substituting 0. 0 squared, that's 0. 0 times 2, still 0. 0 add 3 gives y a value of 3. My next substitution is where x is equal to minus 1. If I square a negative number, my answer is going to be positive. So minus 1 squared is 1. Multiply the 1 by 2 gives me 2. 2 add the 3 gives me a value of 5. X is minus 1, 3 is 5. And the last number I've decided to substitute is minus 2. Minus 2 squared is a positive value of 4. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 8 and add 3 gives me a value of 11, where x is minus 2, y is 11. So there's my full table of values. I'm now going to move over to my grid and I'm going to plot the values. Swap for my pencil. Where x is minus 2, I have a y value of 11. Where x is minus 1, I have a y value of 5. Where x is 0, I have a y value of 3. Where x is 1, y is 5. Where x is 2, y is 11. So this time my crosses don't make a straight line, but they do make a curve. I'm now going to join those x's in a smooth curve. So there is my smooth curve joining all of my x's for the equation where y is equal to 2x squared plus 3. So this is a strange looking graph. Y is equal to 2 divided by whatever value of x we choose to substitute. The graph I've given you here as an example just shows you that even if you're not sure what the graph is going to end up looking like, you can do the substitutions. This is a calculator question, so we're going to key our details into the calculator using the fraction button here. So the first fraction I'm going to key in with the 2 as a numerator. My denominator is going to be the chosen x value of 0.5. And that gives y a value of 4. Where x is 0.5, y is 4. Clear the display and start again. 2 as my numerator, this time 0.8 as my given denominator. I'm going to change this from a fraction to a decimal, and I've got a value of y of 2.5. Fraction, 2, 1 as my numerator, and that gives me a value of for y of 2 when x is 1. And so I continue. This time I'm using the values of x that I was given in the original table. And there are my coordinates. I'm now going to plot. 0.5 on the x-axis gives me a value on y of 4. 0.8 on the x-axis, well, I've got to decide where that is between 0.5 and 1, and it's probably about there, up to 2.5. Value of 1 takes me to 2. Value of 2 gives me a y value of 1. 4, a value of 0.5, and 5, a value of 0.4, which will be about there. So I'm now going to join those plots up with a smooth curve.